lawmakers are backtracking. CNN, lawmakers, they trying to spin this. Check it out. Let's spend 10 minutes on this.
Congressman, first, your reaction to Biden's pardon of Hunter.
Well, look, the one thing I certainly agree with is that this was an improperly politicized prosecution. Those two charges, as I know from 10 years as a prosecutor in the Department of Justice, are almost never, if ever, charged against a defendant in a standalone indictment. And the reason why they were charged is because Republicans in Congress improperly tried to intervene in an ongoing prosecution to scuttle a plea agreement that Hunter Biden and David Weiss had entered into. The plea agreement was unusual because of Donald Trump's threats of retribution and Hunter Biden's understandable concern that if Donald Trump won, that his Department of Justice would come after Hunter for other crimes that he wasn't charged with but was investigated for.
So let's assume that that's true. Let's assume that Donald Trump and his administration would come after Hunter for other crimes that he wasn't investigated for. What other crimes could Hunter be possibly doing? Is it that Donald Trump would go after him, or potentially, because Trump never said that, is it that potentially Trump's administration would go after Hunter Biden for crimes that he was investigated or not investigated for yet? Or is it that Hunter Biden was doing crimes that he wasn't or he hasn't been exposed for? Or maybe it goes back into other people. I don't know.
The president is exactly right
that
if his name were Hunter Smith and not Hunter Biden, he would not be charged with this, and that is not a proper outcome here. That's not a proper use of our rule of law. I wish the president had not stated after the plea agreement fell through that he would not pardon Hunter Biden, because it is discouraging that he has now gone back on his word on that. But the merits of the pardon and the reasons for it are legitimate, especially as you look at who Donald Trump is nominating, people like Matt Gaetz, Pam Bondi, Kash Patel, all of whom have threatened retribution against Hunter Biden and others.
Okay, you went out.
So wait a minute. I just want to make sure, because in a minute he's going to be eating crow. So wait a minute. You're telling me that you're disappointed that he did pardon him, but you're in agreement that he should have pardoned him. Which one is it, lawmaker? Dan, which one is it? Are you disappointed that he did, or you're validating why it makes sense? Because if you're validating why it makes sense from a protection perspective, then that's one thing. Because first we got to have a conversation about what is he protecting himself from. And I don't like the fact that we're not authentic in that. What is it exactly that he's hiding from? That's all I want to know. I don't care about the pardon. I absolutely know that the pardon was coming. Everybody knew that the pardon was coming. We knew that Hunter would never do a day in anything. Hunter was never going to do a day in anything whatsoever. The question isn't that. The question is, what is it that he was pardoned for? And why did you predict that he wouldn't pardon him if you absolutely are saying that he should have pardoned him?
Out on a limb backing up Biden when he said that there would not be a pardon. In July of 2023, just after that plea deal fell through, this is what you said. I want to watch.
Do you think a pardon for his son would be a mistake?
Yes, and I don't think there's any chance that President Biden is going to do that, unlike his predecessor, who pardoned all of his friends and anyone who had any access to him. And I think you see that in this case, where he kept on, and Merrick Garland kept on, a Trump-appointed U.S. attorney to investigate the president's son. If there is not an indication of the independence of the Department of Justice beyond that, I don't know what we could look for.
What does that feel like, watching yourself back then, reassuring people that Biden was not going to issue a pardon for his son?
Now, the logical thing to do here is to say, you know what? I got it wrong. I was wrong about Biden. I was wrong about his character. I was wrong about the fact that he was trying to cover up something. I said that he was above reproach and that, he absolutely believed in the justice system. And when he said that he wasn't going to pardon his son, I believed him, and that, I absolutely got bamboozled, and I was supporting this administration, but I was wrong. I was wrong about Democrats. I was wrong about Biden. I'm probably wrong about so many other things. And I take ownership and responsibility for that. Now, most people will forgive that. Most people will forgive that. If I do something wrong and then I come before y'all and I say, you know what? I was off on that. I take responsibility, and accountability is no excuse for it. I got to do better. Let me make it up to you. Or, you know what? Let me prove myself to you or show you that we all wrong, but at the same time, it's not whether or not I'm wrong, it's whether I take responsibility for it. Most of us, honest to God, would be okay with that. Nobody is against that. Nobody is against or is going to hold you more accountable than you hold yourself. But it's the gaslighting, it's the excuses, it's the cap. We all human, we all fallible, we all do stuff, we all make mistakes, we all have bad judgment at times, we all impaired, whether it be from some alcohol or from a chick that's in front of you. You know what? That butt was just too big. You know what? I feel you. I feel you, big dog, but you're gonna have to do better. You right. You right. No, nobody is immune to it. But it's when you act like you never did it when we know that you did and you got your hands stuck in a cookie jar and you telling me that I don't see what I saw. I see you. I see you. We have the tape now. We can rewind the tape and say, you know what? You were standing on business. How do you feel about that? Let's see how he answers this.
Yeah, and I think that if that plea agreement and that plea deal had gone through, there would be no pardon.
Stop.
That was a satisfactory outcome.
It already fallen
that
through.
Only was. Sorry?
When you reacted, this was when the deal had fallen through. And I hear what you're saying about the Kash Patel appointment, but you took him at his word. So what does that feel like, knowing that he's gone back on it?
Nobody took him at his word. Nobody.
Well, as I said, I'm disappointed that after the plea fell through and it became clear about why it did, including Republican congressional intervention in this case, which made this case very unique and very different from any other case.
This is a different
I think that we all, perhaps I should have as well, recognized that this is not the normal prosecution. I said many times that if Hunter Biden were not Hunter Biden, he would never be charged with these crimes. And when you start to see what Donald Trump is planning to do with his Department of Justice and with his FBI, and the degree to which Hunter Biden has already been shamelessly attacked as a private citizen by Republicans, I certainly understand why the president felt like this miscarriage of justice should not carry forward and that he should not be at risk of retributive prosecution for political reasons, which is not the proper way to execute our rule of law.
So it's Republicans' fault. So don't worry. Listen, when in doubt, when you are stuck, when things are rough for you, I know that CNN and MSNBC are absolutely in shambles right now. I can imagine that in the boardroom and these executive meetings that they are probably they don't know what to do. They are confused. They are brokenhearted. It's issues, problems, troubles. All of the things that they pray against is absolutely the things that they're going through right now. I know that they are in shambles. Gotta be in shambles. No way that they feeling good about what's going on right now. Ratings is tanking. They got to eat crow every single day. They got to bring people to be accountable for their actions. Scott is on there kicking butt and taking names every day. They have to absolutely be in shambles right now. Good God. And then they're not even taking accountability. We can fix this, but y'all don't want to fix it.